that's it. Arsenal's 10-game unbeaten run comes to an end in a crazy and really intense game. Man, where do I even start? Listen, it feels really harsh for us to lose, other than the fact that their goal was just disgustingly awarded and it should never have been. But there are so many talking points, I don't even know where to start. My head is banging. Let's start starting 11, right? It's essentially the exact starting 11 that I predicted for the game and would have preferred, bar the last minute Odegaard injury that had Havertz come in, which, to be honest, at the time I kind of agreed with the Havertz move. I understand that people wanted Zinchenko or Vieira for creativity, and looking back at it, probably would have worked having one of those two playing. We lacked creativity throughout the game, but I didn't mind the Havertz move. Also, a huge shout out to Ben White for making his 100th Arsenal appearance. But anyway, onto the game. Look, the game started off quite intense, as you would expect when you're playing at St. James's Park. The fans were up for it and the Newcastle players were looking hungry. And both teams had a really good press in the beginning and were absolutely flying into challenges. It was a really good watch throughout the whole game, essentially. Both teams end to end, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, we had that, I'd say we had the better of the chances, but it was still a 50-50 start and was definitely still in the balance. Wilson then had a chance where he was offside, but he skied it over anyway. Then let's get into one of the big talking points, that Kai Havertz challenge in the first half. Listen, it looked like a crunching challenge at first. I didn't see it as a red card at first. I assumed it would just be a normal yellow card. But then I see the whole of St. James's Park erupt. All the Newcastle fans run into Kai Havertz like he had just committed a murder. I was quite confused, right? So I waited for the replay and I still think to myself, well, it's a tough challenge, sure, but it's a yellow card. Now, the thing that makes contact and that commits the foul was Kai Havertz's trailing leg that's firmly on the ground. Dangerous? Maybe. Reckless? Yes. It's not a red card. If Kai Havertz's lead-in foot had made any contact with, who was it? Was it Longstaff? Then I could see a red card. I don't see a red card any other way. I don't see how it was thought of as a red card. Like I said, to me, it just looked like a crunching challenge. Both sets of players were flying into challenges throughout the game. I don't see a red. I just don't. But anyway, it wasn't a red. And even to add to that whole moment of madness, we see 3 more yellow cards, except for Newcastle players for dissent. I think the ref was just giving it out for free there. I don't know. It was a huge moment of madness that honestly riled up St. James's Park, and I thought we had decent control of the game until then, but I think that moment kind of flipped it. Trippier and Almiron then had some really good play after that. A beautiful cross from Trippier, and Gordon had a heavy touch that bailed us out and just rolled to David Raya. Now, let's get on to the second talking point, right? The Bruno Guimaraes incident with Jorginho. When I saw the replay of it, because I didn't see it in real time, if I'm being honest with you. When I saw the replay of it, I thought, well, obviously VAR's going to be checking that and that's going to be a red card. It wasn't even a thought. It was just like, okay, that's going to happen. It's violent conduct. That is violent. What is your arm doing at someone at the back of his head? And it's not just like you lunged in for a challenge and that's happened. You've gone in and you just smacked him up on the back of the head. Bruno knows exactly what he's doing and he blatantly elbows Jorginho in the back of the head. It's blatant as can be. It's even an illegal shot in the UFC, so I don't understand how that's allowed in football. It's I don't know. How VAR didn't at least take a look at that, I have no idea. And if they did, then it's even worse on VAR, because you can see that and you say, no ref, that's fine. Why does VAR have to ruin so many football games? And it's not just our games. It's so frustrating. But anyway, we move on. We then had that beautiful chance at the end of the first half. Martinelli did so well to get into a good chance and dribble past Lascelles. But I mean, actually Lascelles did very well to close Gabby's angle and make it a very tough shot for Gabby, who hits it basically right down the center of the goal. It was a very enjoyable first half to watch. Both teams were up for a fight and had some really good chances. And I was licking my lips and I was thinking, you know what? Like, as good as Newcastle are, we might have a chance to nick it. Yeah, boy, was I wrong. To start the second half, Newcastle had to take off Dan Burn, who had that big knock earlier in the first half. And they then replaced him with Livramento, who they moved to right back, and they moved Trippier to left back. And I'll be honest with you, I thought, that's a really good move. Livramento very quickly can keep up with Martinelli, and that was obviously correct. And Trippier's obviously trained with Saka a lot in England camp, so I expected that move as well. And I mean, the first 50 minutes of the second half were just as fiery and intense as the first half. Kai Havertz was being a little bit reckless at times, despite being on a second yellow card. Honestly, like, I don't know, there's some challenges that I was thinking, that's a second yellow for Kai. What is he doing? Thankfully, he wasn't given. This ref was so inconsistent, but we'll get onto that. So inconsistent from the ref. And I was quite impressed by Kai. Look, I think Kai's getting a lot more credit than he deserves. I think it's okay. Worked really hard. It was probably one of his better games we've ever seen in an Arsenal shirt. Maybe even his best. I wouldn't say it was great. Maybe a 7 out of 10 max. But anyway, we move on out with the small wins. I'll take Kai Havertz performing well any day of the week. We then had some absolutely beautiful and patient play, which led to that Declan Rice hitting the ball just wide of the goal, and some other scrappy chances in that play. And then Arsenal had some really poor efforts, and they allowed a beautiful ball into Joelinton, beautifully in behind the line, and Murphy then shoots wide on his first touch, right? So what do? Well, we have some really poor efforts and just watch the ball hopefully trickle out, But Joe Willock, the former Arsenal player, if you don't remember, had recently come on. And what does he do? Well, he goes and runs, gets that ball, whips it in. The ball then, I don't know, kind of bobbles around or whatever you want to say, and Gordon just smashes it in empty net. But then I actually thought at first that's a goal, like there's nothing to be checked. But boy was I wrong. There were 3 things in that goal to be checked by VAR. 3 things, right? First, if the ball was in bounds. Second was the potential push on Gabriel, and then the third was if it was offside. But somehow the goal was given. I know I sound like a really sour Arsenal fan right now, but I would just love to know what VAR was saying to each other. To me, the angle that I got on the TV and the angle that was shown around the world, the ball looked out. Just out, but out, right? I know the whole ball has to be out over the whole line, and it looked like it was. But anyway, let's just say VAR had the best angle, and that angle is wrong. Then we go to the Gabriel push. That is a push. Joelinton has both of his arms extended at Gabriel's back. Why would Gabriel, a centre-back, not be able to win a header with no one competing? It's a blatant push in the back. That is the type of blocking you see when you go watch an NFL game. Both his arms are extended at the centre of Gabriel's back, pushes Gabriel down, doesn't even win the header, might I add. And then Gordon smacks it in, and Gordon was onside, so I'm not really too fussed about him being called onside, because frankly he was. I just don't know how VAR gave that. I don't know. You can't tell me that ball is in. Alright, and even if you can, that is a foul on Gabriel. But anyways, what can we do? It's over now. We then took off Ben White for Zinchenko, sending Tomiyasu to right back and Zinchenko to left back to try and chase the game. And Newcastle just kept holding strong. We then brought on Trossard and Vieira for Nketiah and Jorginho, and guess what? Newcastle just kept holding strong. Like, let me give Newcastle their props, because I've been hating a lot in this video. Boy, Livramento was superb. So good in that second half. Honestly, like the way he was playing, I was thinking, listen, he won't be a bad fullback to have in this Arsenal team. I know. I'm just saying, he would be a really good fit, especially with how shaky Zinchenko's been lately. I wouldn't mind me a little bit of Livramento. But then even the Charles and Shaw were just absolutely colossal at centre-back for Newcastle. Fair play to them. Their defense was outstanding today. To be fair, ours was really good as well, other than maybe a few sloppy moments. Both, I think, any other day, I think if you told me this was going to be a 0-0 after watching that game, I would say that's fair. Again, I think this is a harsh result to take, but it's a result that we have to take nonetheless. Newcastle really absorbed the pressure well and saw the game out. Very professional from them. Fair play to them. I knew in the pre-match this game would be a tough one, and it turned out it was. Really upset that we are now beaten in the Premier League, and the only unbeaten team is Spurs. Yeah, just to rub salt in the wounds. Hopefully Spurs lose to Chelsea. I don't often support Chelsea, but on Monday night I will be. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on the games. Thank you so much for letting me rant to you guys today. Please rant back to me. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of the game? What do you guys think of the refereeing performance? The outstanding refereeing performance, should I say? And what do you think of our performance as a team? Where do you think it went wrong for us? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.